rarely talked about, and I think it's so important, the central role that health played in both precipitating this recession and the role that it's going to play in the recovery. And as you think about all the data that you look at and the changing nature of this recession, are there specific health indicators that you are looking at, your colleagues are looking at as new indicators, leading indicators of where the economy is structurally in the recovery?
Well, yes. I think like many people, we're doing what other people are doing, which is trying to learn as much as possible about pandemics and the spread of COVID. And we talk to a lot of experts. Our staff are very plugged into outside experts, and we all read a lot. And, I think, it's just a very different kind of set of data that we're looking at. It's a very broad set of data. And we've been learning, of course. So we saw the first, the initial impact in March and April when the economy was largely shut down, set all kinds of records for a decline in employment and in economic activity. Then we had a spike in the South and the West in the summer. And, I think many of us were looking at that and thinking, oh, that'll leave a real mark on economic activity. And it was much less than expected. So as we've gone through and then the one in the fall, we expected a spike. The spike in the winter, fall, the late fall and winter has been very, very large, of course. Once again, big parts of the economy have just performed pretty well through that. If you look back at jobs have continued to be created in goods manufacturing and in many service areas. Of course, the places that are really directly affected by COVID are those that require people to gather together closely, travel, entertainment, leisure, hotels, all those things. And they are very strongly affected by it. So, the last thing is, so what we'd all love to do is read enough that we could actually look ahead and say, we know when herd immunity is going to get here. And the truth is, that's not really something that any of us can do. The experts that we talk to will always say it depends. It's highly uncertain. So what we have in effect is a base case, which is fairly positive. And that is that we do reach herd immunity sometime in the middle of the year, and the economy performs quite well in the second half of the year. But, our job, though, is not to replace Dr. Fauci. It really is to understand the implications for the economy. And in this particular case, the risks seem to be to the downside from a slower rollout of the vaccination or a less successful rollout of vaccination or from the new strains. So we monitor all of that. And I think our view is that we need to guard against those downside risks and make sure that we don't move to modify our policy. In other words, to even think about withdrawing policy support until we see that we're really through the pandemic, because there's just so much uncertainty. And it's a case where really a typical risk management approach to monetary policy, where you're looking at the base case, but you're actually managing to where the risks lie, which in this case we think are the downside.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.